Hello travelers, Boardman21, and today I'm going to give you the second of 4 dungeons, and in this one it's the Lightless Arbor. And the way this one works once you have a key is you are going to take it into the ruined area, and right above the surface, 2 waypoints up, you'll encounter the Lightless Arbor, which is inside of the mountain. So when you get up to the gate, it's going to ask you to insert your key, and once you do the key, you'll have a tier to choose from, starting off with tier 1. We're going to do tier 3 in this example, and I'm going to show you the mechanic of this one. And that mechanic is, instead of like the temporal sanctum that we did, this one, instead of changing through the arrows of time, is instead going to have this light above you. And this light is what you'll control. You can move it around, you can just keep it on you, but essentially what it does is that in this light radius, enemies will do less damage to you and take more damage. If enemies are outside of this radius, they're going to take less damage and do more damage. So essentially, you want to keep enemies in the light. Enemies in the dark that are ranged and hitting you are going to hurt you a lot more than they would if they were in the light. On top of that, your light source has an illumination. This radius will decrease the more hits that you take, and the number that it decreases is going to depend on how much damage you take, based on a percentage of your health. The more health that you're taking away, the more damage that you take, this number will dwindle down until you get to 0, but don't worry, you can replenish that by killing certain elementals, and I'll show you what I mean when we get in here. And just like the Temporal Sanctum, you're going to have to go through 2 maps, which is more of a maze. So let's take some hits here. If they'll hit me, maybe. We have such a powerful build. Maybe. Nope, he didn't even get off a single hit. Still no. Maybe this elemental. There we go. We took a hit. So there you can see we dropped down to 94. My radius of light's going to get smaller. But killing these embers here will actually replenish it back up to 100. That's pretty much the gist of it. You're just going to go through the map. If you want to keep the light ahead of you so that you can see, especially if you're like a ranged bow, one will send it out, one will recall it to you. I like to just keep it on me for the auto bomber. This is where we do our damage anyways, so it makes sense. So we just get into the fight. And I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to the boss section instead of watching me do the whole map, and then we'll go over the boss mechanics and the reward system. Alright, and here we are nearing the end of the second map, so once we go in here, you'll have kind of a room in which you get ready. It'll ask you to proceed if you want to go to the boss fight. We're going to go ahead and do that. And then once we go in here, you're going to encounter the tree. The way that you get past him, the mechanic, is that we are going to light both of the kindlings on both sides. So you just throw your little flame there, you'll see the kindling is starting to light. Meanwhile, you want to dodge his mechanics. So he's going to throw down his arms on both sides, and you do not want to get hit by those. And in the meantime, he'll kind of raindrop in some tree or I don't know, vines that grow out of the ground. I really don't know what they are. Kind of acorn looking things. So those will plummet downwards, and then you just dodge his arm attacks. Once that's lit, you have to go to the other side to do it as well. You throw it in there. Bum, bum, bum. Basically, you just dodge it until you light both sides. As I get hit by every single one of them. I'm not dodging very well right now. And once you light this side, which we are at, that will open up him. So he falls down, and then we have to basically destroy his heart. So you light both sides, you don't even worry about fighting him, and then you'll enter him, and then you reach his heart. And there's only a couple of mechanics. So you have the beam that shoots out, you just want to stand directly behind it. It kind of cone shapes around, and then you have this area of effect. You just want to stand really close to the Titan heart. There's some other things that drop down like these. They drop down from the sky, but you don't really have to worry about that. Again, the cone, just get directly behind, and then stay outside of its AoEs. And that's it. That's all the abilities. And then you just work its life down, you take it out, and then you'll get the rewards at the end. And the rewards for this one are actually really cool. We are going to have probably the biggest gold sink in LE here. So essentially what's going to happen here is for the Vault of the Uncertain Fate, We call it Delirium. Will offer you a series of choices which affect the rewards within the vault. The cost of accepting an offer depends on the modifiers already chosen, and declining an offer will increase the cost of the modifier you are offered in its stead. So it starts off cheap, and it's going to get more and more expensive for everything that we do. Whether we accept or decline, it's still going to get more expensive, and I believe you can choose up to 10 things. I may be wrong on that, but I think it's around in there. But there's nothing in there, so the first one you get is going to add a chest that drops rare weapons, exalted weapons, and a unique weapon. I'm going to accept that. It's going to add another chest if I buy this one that drops several exalted helmets. Sure, sounds good. Adds an additional glyph of despair to all chests. Sounds good, I need a few of those. Adds many ruins to a random chest. I don't need that, I'll decline. Adds a unique item to a random chest. I'll take a random. Adds an additional glyph of chaos to all chests. Sounds good to me. Adds an additional rune of ascendance to all chests. Ooh, I believe we have 2 chests right now. Ooh, that's only 2 runes of ascendance. That's pretty expensive for it, but we'll accept it for now. All items from every chest have a 20% chance to be duplicated. Ooh. I'm going to do that because there's a chance that we might get 2 runes of ascendance in each one. Adds a chest that drops several idols. Yeah, we don't need idols. Adds an additional rune of ascendance to all chests. Ooh, that's expensive. We're going to decline that. And at this point, we're getting super expensive. So here you can see it duplicates every chest, but I'm not going to pay $1 million for that. But you can see how this keeps multiplying out, and you have all these really good things. All chests drop 15% more items. Another glyph of despair for all of them. Basically, you just choose what you want, and you can kind of see that the more money you spend here, the more explosions you're going to get. And then when you're done choosing, you can just enter the vault and claim all of your rewards. I think this will be huge in the Merchants Guild because people will sell items for gold, and then they'll come spend gold here, get more items, and basically it's just kind of be like gambling is essentially what it's going to do. But you can see I open up my chest. We got a bunch of glyph of despairs. We end up getting 3 runes of ascendance, and we have a bunch of exalted. We got a tone of elements and a hummingbee. Not the best uniques at all, but that is how the Lightless Arbor dungeon works from start to finish. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if this is one of your favorite dungeons or which dungeon is your favorite. And as always, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.